All right, the credits are rolling on Mystery Alaska. It's all over. Um, let's see. We obviously left off where the game was starting, and Little Richard sang the national anthem. That was the big celebrity that the mayor got. I mean, talk about random.
Yeah.
So he goes into Little Richard's bus before the game's about to start, and he asks him for a favor. And Little Richard proceeds to go out and sing both the U.S. and Canadian national anthems very slowly.
Why would he do that, Ed?
Well, because it was cold outside.
10 below.
The idea was, of course, the mystery guys were used to the cold, and the ranger guys were going to obviously kind of get frozen out there. You know, they will warm up, and now they're standing around, and it's going to be an advantage for them. So apparently it worked, because Mystery came out and scored 2 goals. Their goalie stood on his head to start the game.
Yeah.
And they scored 2 goals and had a 2-0 lead after the first period.
Indeed, they
We're
did.
feeling good in the little locker room there.
Mike Myers was eating his words after asking where he could get himself a massage with a happy ending in the town. There's a lot of scenes in this movie that just don't make a lot of sense. And, like, why are these in here? That was one of them. But
his whole appearance.
Phil Esposito
and
on
our
the mic.
boy Espo,
our former co-worker at Fox Sports and former GM of the Tampa Bay Lightning, current announcer for the Tampa Bay Lightning. He was on the mic calling the game for whatever sports network was doing it here, SBC. 2-0 lead for Mystery after the first, but then the Rangers had themselves a little strategy. They rotated players in and out of the warm locker room during the second and third period, and apparently that worked. I don't know how, but that worked. It was quite a trek. Quite a trek from the igloo that they were staying in to the ice, but they made that work. They then took a 5-2 lead into the third period.
5 unanswered goals.
Yep.
And then Mystery was down in the dumps when they came into the locker room.
Yep.
After the
And as
period.
we predicted before the movie, there was a hit where a guy got knocked into the boards. There was a devastating hit where he got sent ass over hat.
One into the bench.
Yep. And the usual hockey scenes. Somehow in the third period, though, old Burt Reynolds, he played your guy Russell Crowe like a fiddle.
He sure did.
He goes over there and tells him,
"This is in the locker room.
Yeah, hey, listen, you're the captain. Here's what we want to do. We want to start playing the trap because we want to keep the score as close as possible.
We don't want to get too embarrassed."
Yeah. So how
What?
dare you? We're not. This game's not over.
No.
Fires up his team. They go out there and play a spirited third period in which the mystery team gets 2 timeouts awarded to them.
Yeah, that was a little odd.
The lights are on, by the way, so it is apparently 2 in the morning on the East Coast. Not a lot of people watching on TV.
That's what you think.
Yeah, so then again, the Rangers are about to lose to some team from Alaska. So they end up getting 2 goals. The goalie's making great stops on breakaways from NHL players. And they got 43 seconds to play, 1-goal game. They set up a play. It all goes exactly as they planned, but they ring it off the post at the buzzer, and they lose 5-4. And heartbroken. But everybody, the town is happy. The Rangers
they get a standing ovation.
Face.
The Rangers do the
Nobody was in the
tap.
crowd except the local townsfolk. I don't know how they made money on this. So, but anyway,
it's not real.
So
that's how.
Yes. So the Rangers are leaving town, but they're not going empty-handed.
Let's not forget the judge. The judge and his son hug.
Yep.
Says he's proud of his son.
The mayor and his wife made up in the stands.
Yeah, cheering on the team.
Yep. Somebody had a good sign that said, "Hey, Skank, I'm pregnant."
Yeah, it was kind of.
That was a good one.
The Hank Azaria, who left to make it big and wanted to come back and rub everybody's face in it, now feels bad because he thinks he's done something that's going to embarrass the town. They're going to get killed. During the game, he's excited. He starts cheering. He's out in the stands, and he's suddenly now proud of his hometown.
Yep. Little Richard was long gone. He was out of the state by the time the game was over,
I hope
I'm sure. Very random sighting there. But anyway, so the game's over, and now we've wrapped up all of our loose ends. Everything's hunky-dory. Like you said, the judge and his son have made up. And, as we were talking about, these guys, the way they're playing, they would be getting NHL contracts. Well, a couple of them do.
Yeah.
The
young kid.
The young kid who's in high school and is not even eligible for the draft yet is signed by the Rangers to go play in the AHL team mid-season.
And then the store clerk who shot the guy in the foot, who was their leading scorer, also got a contract. So they're leaving with the Rangers. They're going
to go to Binghamton.
Yeah.
To play for the Binghamton Senators, or whoever they were back in 1999. I think they might be another lawsuit going on about signing a player that was in high school. And the Saturday game is back on. They leave the game puck on the tomb of the crappy goalie.
The dumb lawyer. The dumb lawyer
yeah.
who died.
Yeah, they should have taken the goalie with them, by the way. He was fantastic.
Yeah, he was actually. He had a Hasek-like save where he rolled on his back and made a save.
And somehow stacked the pads at the same time.
The hockey action was okay. I did like the fact that they didn't have them win at the end, which would have been even more preposterous.
The fact that it was 5-4,
right? That would have been, if they could somehow keep it close, they would have deserved a standing ovation. So I was
with 10 players.
At least they didn't do that. At least they didn't make them win the game or have them win the game. So,
yes.
Yeah, as you said while we were watching it. Well, I mean, I didn't like it the first time around. Nothing changed my mind the second time around. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it. Let's say that it's not the worst movie I've ever seen. It's not the worst movie we've reviewed.
Not even.
But I can't say, if you're a hockey fan, you got to get this one. You got to catch this one. I would say avoid it if it's on. Well, come on. If it's on like cable TV and you're flipping around.
I watched Mr. Magoo. You watched
the
new Godzilla.
That was a really poor decision on your
watched the new
choice.
Godzilla.
It had some special effects.
I'm saying, if it's on TV and you get it for free, sure, give it a watch.
I'm
terrible.
saying move on.
But I certainly would not go out of your way to watch it. It's not good, in my opinion. It was a very poorly written, acted. The acting was fine. It was just poorly written, directed.
You can only do so much as an actor with what you got. So
and it was too many stories that really didn't need to be in part of the movie.
I agree.
Thus it was 2 hours. This could have been down to a tight hour 40.
You're telling me.
It was way too long.
It was
for what this was, especially when we established so early what the plot was.
Yeah.
Anyway, thumbs down from me. Thumbs down from you.
Yeah.
But I'm glad,
Hopefully you watching on Periscope and listening on the podcast at least had fun listening to us. It seems like the listeners do enjoy when we watch a bad movie and talk about it. I'm not sure I understand that completely, but they enjoy our misery.
It's more fun to talk about something you're miserable about. You don't want to hear anybody just, that was a great movie. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I think every once in a while we should mix in a decent movie, to be honest with you.
There's not a lot of really quality hockey movies. There's a lot
we still have Miracle out there waiting. If we ever feel like we got to do a good one, we could do that one. But
agreed.
We'll see how it goes.
Yep. But thank you to those of you that joined us on Periscope and the wee hours of the morning on the East Coast.
Give us some feedback if you like this, and hopefully it worked out, because we've set my phone on a coffee mug on a TV tray, so we think we're in frame and focused, but we don't know for sure. So hopefully it all worked out.
Yep. Other than that, you got to get to work.
I do.
I got to get to bed.
Roll.
And we'll see you next week for another edition of the Puck Podcast. And the off season continues.
Good night.
All right, Ed. He says this is perfect focus. I'm turning it off. Thank you to all of you that joined us. A quick peek into my house as Ed unplugs everything and gets to work.